I'm Donna Williams. I am the Wake County Republican Party Chair, and we are coming live to you today from our office. And with me today is I still call him our sheriff, but he is our candidate this year for the Wake County Sheriff, Donnie Harrison. And so, Donnie, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Well, I'm honored to be here, to be honest with you. It gives me the opportunity to talk to people that's moved in here since I was the sheriff.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people that has moved in, so I'm honored to be here.
Excellent. Well, I'm thrilled to have you. So let me start with, I have a few questions for you, and this is really just to, like you said, let people know who you are. And we're going to start, my first question is about your education and your past employment history.
Well, to be honest with you, I was born and raised down east in Martin County, and if anybody knows where Martin County is, they probably know we're a little town called Beargrass. It just has a crossroads. There was 22 in my graduating class. Grew up on a farm, grew up very poor, but Donna, from the time I was probably 5 to 7, 8 years old, I wanted to be a state trooper. I could see the troopers working on the side of the road while I was in the tobacco field, which I didn't really like. And I just made my mind up then that this is something that I want to do, and I never changed my mind. I went through high school, and I was the president of my sophomore class and my senior class. They tried to get me to go to college, and honestly, my mother and daddy couldn't afford it, for one thing. I got a job immediately after graduating at a spinning mill working at night, and then a short time later I got a job with the state surveying. But my goal was still to be a state trooper. And when I turned 21, I was fortunate enough to make that part of my life, fulfill that part of my life, and I went to school in Chapel Hill, the 39th Basic School, Highway Patrol School, and was stationed here in Raleigh. Other than that, I've got a tremendous amount of training behind me that I was taught in Highway Patrol School, been to different schools also by other people, Southern Police Institute and so forth and so on. So most of mine is just pure law enforcement, and I've been doing this. I retired from the Highway Patrol, and right now I have over 50 years of experience. Luckily, I was sheriff for 16 years.
Excellent. I know that you were sheriff for 16 years, and you kept us safe in this county, and I thank you. Personally, I thank you. And I know a lot of people listening to this know who you are, but we also have new voters in Wake County. We have many people that move here every single day. So I'm going to switch questions on you. If you would think back to when you first became sheriff, and if I remember correctly, our sheriff's department at that time was a bit of a mess. And if you could share with us, what did you do back then to clean it up?
Well, you know, everybody has their own opinion about this, that, and the other. Coming through the Highway Patrol School and the training that I got from the Highway Patrol and other agencies that I work with, the Sheriff's Office didn't need cleaning up. There was some stuff going on that the Sheriff got complacent, and he realized it later, just like we all do. We all make mistakes. But people were asking me left and right. Once I retired from the Highway Patrol, Donna, I went into raising bloodhounds actually before I left Highway Patrol to help people. I did it free as a public service to people, people that ran away from home, or people that got lost hunting, or people that ran away from rest homes that had dementia and so forth and so on. And people started seeing me out and about, plus I refereed high school and college basketball, and they kept telling me, Donnie, we see you more than we do the sheriff. Why don't you think about running for sheriff? And I was still sworn. I never gave up my sworn status. When I retired from the Highway Patrol, I went to work with Holly Springs free as their canine officer. And so I did see people. I was still out and about working on weekends, and when people needed me with my bloodhound to look lost people and the bad guys. So I was seeing a lot. So they put that seed there, and I got to thinking about it and said, why not? You know, let's give it a shot. And I lost the first time I ran in '98, and God had a plan for me then. It was not that I should be sheriff. Come to find out in '99, right after I lost my mother in July. My wife had cancer in November of that year. My dad had a stroke at the beginning of the next year. So I would not have made a good sheriff.
No.
And God knew that. And I lost my wife, lost my dad on my birthday in 2002, and I made a promise that I would run again, and was fortunate enough to win, and stayed in there for 16 years.
Oh, I am so sorry about all of your loss in such a short time, but you're correct. God knew, and He always does. So, all right, next question on my list is, what changes, should you be elected as our new sheriff, as our next sheriff, what changes do you plan to make to the Wake County Sheriff's Department?
We don't even have time to talk about it. But no, seriously, everybody's suffering in law enforcement. Most people, Donna, doesn't know what a law enforcement officer does. They don't understand how quickly we have to make a decision. So we get blamed for a lot of things that we shouldn't be blamed for, because of the time we have to make that split-second decision to save our life or somebody else's life. But the answer to your question, we got to recruit. We've got to get more people. And I understand COVID and other things hit too, but when I was the sheriff, on any given day, we had 20 to 25 people on patrol easily. And now, from what I'm hearing, you're lucky to have 8 people on patrol. And to me, that is very dangerous, not only for the citizens of this county, but also for our deputies. And so that's one thing, is we've got to hire. And I've got to work with the county commissioners, and thank God I've always had a reputation of, when I come to the county commissioners, I have a business plan. I was in business once upon a time, and I had a business plan, and that's what excuse me, that's what I'll continue to do. I will have a business plan, and I will bring it to the county commissioners, and hopefully they'll see, like I see, that we need more people. Once we start that hiring process, then we've got to train. Training, law enforcement is like everything else. It has changed over the years. I've been in it 50 years, so you can imagine when I came on how it was, and look at the technology and the things that has happened over the years. So that's something that I've already started working on, to be honest with you. We've been meeting, and I've had a team of people together that's in different fields of work. They're business owners. They've worked for other businesses. They're in law enforcement. They've just got a good history of people throughout the county that I'm trying to work with to find out what we need. So we've already started looking into what's better. What better training can we give our deputies so that we can mental health is rampant here, and that's another problem that we have. And so that's one of the main things there, is once we get these deputies, we've got to train them how to do it and how to work with other agencies. And then on the personnel, we've got to be able to retain them. And that means we've got to come up with a plan with more money, ways to keep them, the deputies here, so they'll stay and not waste our money just training and then going somewhere else. So, that's one of the main things. And then, of course, you got your mental health crisis. When I became sheriff, our jail, which is something that people don't understand, how hard it is to work in a jail, and getting people to work in our jail is also another problem. You just imagine being there, every shift, talking to people that's made mistakes. You've got to have the right people in there, because those people that made mistakes, hopefully they'll never make them again. If you've got the right people, they're helping people get back where they should be. So mental health, when I became sheriff, I could not believe the mental health problem that we had in this county. The jail, we average about anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 people a day in our jail, were when I was sheriff. And so we had the biggest mental health hospital in this state. And so we started doing things right away, trying to, we hired a liaison to work with our office and see who had mental health problems. And then we worked with the county so that if that person got out, see, we're a jail, we're not a prison. So if a person makes bond, they can get out. But if we could see somebody had the problems, then we went after them quickly. You need this, you need that. So we went to the county and said, can you help these people if they get out? The homeless people the same way. And we'll continue to do that. Our drug problem is unbelievable. Fentanyl, 100,000 plus people died last year just because of fentanyl. And it's coming in here rapid now because of the border crisis that we're having. The average person, again, doesn't know, but I can tell you, we've got a big problem with fentanyl, and our college students are using it, our high school students are using it, because it's laced with a lot of stuff. So that's another big thing. So, you know, those things add up quickly, and some people say, well, how are you going to do it? Well, it's not how I'm going to do it, we're going to do it. And like I say, we've already started. And when I'm elected in November, I can assure you these plans will hit the road immediately, because we're going to have, I'm already talking to CALEA, which is a national training certification group. I'm talking to Wake Tech. I'm talking to other people. I want to make sure when the day comes that I'm elected, that the next day we're putting these in place. You know, our Citizens Well Check program, the sheriff did away with that when he came in. That was to help the elderly. Right. And he said, you know, we weren't doing this, we weren't doing that. But listen, if we help one person, and we were finding people on the floor, and the way that program worked briefly is we called a person every day. We had automated dialing, and so it didn't take that much away from us. And if somebody didn't answer, then we would go check on them, or either have the family check on them. So we have found people on the floor, and some people that passed away. So we're going to put that back in place. And like I say, I could keep on and on and on, but you know, we're working now. We've already started. That's something, I don't believe in waiting. You know, when I became sheriff before, one of the first things I did was to meet with all the chiefs. And when I say chiefs, I'm talking about the police chiefs, the fire chiefs, right on down the line. And I intend to do that again, because we've got to pull together as a team. So I'll turn it back over to you, because I know I can get wound up.
This is fascinating, and honestly, I could sit here and listen to you all day, but I don't want to keep our listeners here all day. My next question, let's say our listeners are just, and I know they're going to love listening to you, but let's say that they decide they want to help you. They want to learn more about you. Where can they do that? I'm assuming you have a website?
DonnieHarrison.com.
Excellent.
And you can call me anytime. People still call me, believe me, day and night. But if you got a question for me, you can go to DonnieHarrison.com, or you can go to different pages that my team has got out right now. Facebook, I don't do it, but they do. Feel free to call me at any time. I'll be glad to talk to you and share with you, because you're the reason that I'm running to make sure we have a safer Wake County.
Yes, and I thank you, and I'm to our listeners, DonnieHarrison.com. If you want to volunteer to help Donnie, if you want to donate to his campaign to help his campaign, I don't know about you, but I want you back. I want you back as our sheriff for my family, and I am sure that our listeners do too. So I just want to say thank you to our listeners for tuning in. We are coming to you from our office at 1401 Sunday Drive, and behind us is our store. So if you're looking for some fun, political American merchandise, come visit us. And we're open Monday through Friday from 10 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you, Donnie.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.